Hello. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Oh my gosh, I didn't mute the stream and now I can hear myself. Okay, we're good now. I was like, who's talking?
Were you just jamming out?
I was jamming out to the music. It's true. It was a pretty good song that Luke picked for us. Anyway, welcome to the Daybreak Q&A numero dos. I'm here joined by some lovely members of the team to answer your questions. And as a reminder, you can go to the link that the mods are about to post in chat to ask your questions. And they won't be asked tonight because I have to filter through them, but they might appear tomorrow on tomorrow's segment with a whole new cast and crew. Well, actually, probably the same crew, but a whole new cast. So anyway, let's go around and introduce ourselves, starting with what? MC.
Hi, I'm MC. My pronouns are he, him. I have been sleeping since the marathon ended. I have awoken from my stasis to answer your questions. Please make them good questions. Thank you.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Maeve DX. My pronouns are she, her. I wish I had been sleeping since the whole event, but you know.
Oh, that's me. We're going this way.
Sure.
Okay. My name is Catherine, or C to the Atherin, and my pronouns are she, her. And I wasn't supposed to be here, but I'm here.
And we're so glad.
Last minute. I was awake and around. So here I am. So you get to be subjected to that. So
Kath sacrificed her baked potatoes for this stream.
I'm Phil, and my pronouns are he, him, and I've been part of charity streams for almost 15 years. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be part of Zeldathon.
You really are almost at 15 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, 15 years in a few months.
Wow. I didn't even know what live streaming was.
Neither did we.
And I'm Clinkit. If you didn't know, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm here to host this shindig and get all the questions asked. Oh, the bot commands. Okay, Stone, thank you for being our manual makeshift bot. Appreciate it. Anyway, getting to our very first question. What was your favorite moment of the marathon? And I'm going to throw that question to Phil to start us off.
So when we very first started the marathon, we were scrambling to prepare a bit with Danny to do a back in time bit for Majora's Mask. And when we first started, everything was still a little bit chaotic because this was our first time going live in person for a few years. And so we scrambled to get everything ready. Stuff was going on backstage, and then Danny comes out and does his bit and leaves, and everyone was very confused. And then 3 days later, we scrambled again to have him travel back to the beginning of the marathon. So everybody's zipping around, changing positions on the couch, wearing the same clothes that we had been 3 days prior. In going back to check the video, the clip of the beginning of the marathon, I realized I'm the only person on the couch who had unmasked at that point. So I'm the only one who can't break when Danny comes in and starts doing his piece. And it was so funny and so hard. And I got text messages immediately like, how did you not bust out laughing that whole time?
That's great. Yeah, we didn't really exactly know what we were going to do at that moment until like 2 hours before, but we appreciate everyone being flexible, to include Maeve, the game runner, who didn't really know because I was like whispering things as she was playing her game.
By whispering, you mean using the secret notepad monitor.
That too,
and also grabbing me as I was running back from the bathroom. I'm pretty sure.
That's true.
I believe the monitor said something along the lines of like telling everybody on couch, don't react because there's going to be a lot of weird stuff happening around you.
It said like weird thing will happen at start of day 3. Don't react.
Yeah, because Grant was like preparing all the lights and stuff, and there were just like people shuffling around and like everybody getting ready, and we purposely told the couch to just ignore all that and continue Zeldathon as if there wasn't all that going on.
What's funny is I had known that this was going to happen earlier because I had talked with some of the planning about it. And then I was on couch and Clinton told me, oh, we're going to do the thing at day 3. And then I was like, what thing is she talking about? I don't know. I'll just keep playing my game. And then when I saw everybody assembling in their day 1 clothes around me while I was playing the game, I was like, oh, that thing. That's right. that was also my favorite moment of the marathon, which is why I made a face when Phil talked about it. And I also liked it because I'm pretty sure it was like one of the first bits we came up with for Daybreak. Like as soon as we knew we were doing a Majora's Mask theme, MC was like, I really want to do this like bit. I'm still workshopping it, but like where we like play the Song of Time and then go back to like day 1 and we like play a video or whatever. And so it's just really cool seeing it actually become a thing after being like something randomly thrown out during our announcement meeting.
Yeah, that was a director brainstorm that got formed into something. I can't wait till we put together the behind the scenes video, because there was somebody recording during the hot swaps. Because what people may not know is that like not only did we have to swap out the couches and the set pieces and stuff, like because there was, we were trying to match the set as fast as we could, but I was also behind the scenes swapping the game and getting the right game loaded up and signaling to tech like, all right, you have to recrop the game now, which we couldn't do in time. So I was like, screw the cropping, continue the bit, people don't care. But yeah, we were, it was fun because usually when we do game transitions, we take several minutes to do so. In this case, we had to do 2 game transitions in the matter of a minute each, which was fun. But and that's why I was there, because that's my domain, is game switching. That's my best thing I do.
Yes, very true. Maeve, was that your favorite moment, or did you have another?
Yeah, that
one?
was also my favorite moment I was going to talk about. It was just really great because I feel like it was just such a peak Zeldathon planning moment, and then also lack of planning as everything went chaotic in the middle of it. But that's life.
Yeah, originally we were going to pre-record it before the marathon started, but I got very distracted by trees, and everyone got distracted by other things too.
I feel like that's the motto of the marathon for you, is just distracted by trees.
Someday, third tree. Someday.
I don't know. I kind of like unrendered tech room tree.
Unrendered.
RTX off tree.
So moving on to our next question, what was your favorite live donation incentive? I'm going to throw that over to MC.
Yeah, I absolutely loved the Magic 8 Ball. I think I had lots of other great incentives and stuff that I was either part of or whatever, but the Magic 8 Ball was really funny because me and Campy were doing one of our classic walking through Target and occasionally looking at something and going, money for charity. There it is. We see it, and we saw the Magic 8 Ball and we were like, what if we did that? And what's really sad is we, actually, I won't pull back the curtain entirely on it. The Magic 8 Ball lore is not yet finished. There is more to come on that front. We really actually have further ideas concerning the Magic 8 Ball, because the Magic 8 Ball was slowly gaining power throughout the event, and I'm scared. But for those who don't know, we basically, people could donate money and ask the Magic 8 Ball question, and we shook it, and we repeated the question. But I loved it because people kept answering or asking really complex questions. Like, it wasn't just like, should I get a sandwich for dinner? Should I get a sandwich for dinner? They were like, tomorrow I have a test and I'm really worried about it. So do you think I should study this or this? And so we had to go, tomorrow there is a thing, and then we have to do this thing tomorrow, and then should we do this or this? And we had to chant it, and they got longer and longer and more complex, and eventually people just started going, and it was wonderful. I love the Magic 8 Ball.
I was just surprised we didn't have the Magic 8 Ball prior, honestly, because it seems like an obvious incentive and prop, but this was the first appearance of it, which is amazing to me. After 26 previous marathons, we finally got it on 27.
He finally figured out Magic 8 Ball was money. And it's entertaining. That's what every good Zeldathon bit is raise money for charity, and it's entertaining. So
Exactly. Maeve, what about you? Favorite donation incentive?
Yeah, so for this marathon, we got a button maker in showroom that was used for making these wonderful pronoun buttons that were very, very nice to have. Very, very good
so
addition.
many buttons.
And so our good friend Mr. Smith said, well, what if we used it for chaotic purposes? And so we had the idea of we were going to have the donors give him titles that would get appended to his name, and we would make buttons with the title on it. And every time you referred to him, you just have to refer to this longer and longer and longer list of names. So it ended up with some crazy things. Like someone put in like, my name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. Sussy Baka, AKA was one of them. That was a good one. So it was just a bunch of things, AKA, and then a bunch more things. And I was just like off camera, like sitting on the floor surrounded by paper and scissors and just like furiously making buttons as fast as I could because the donations started coming in really fast. And it was just really fun, very chaotic, very, very sitting on the floor and making arts and crafts. And I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, it became ridiculous to refer to Smith by the end of it. So
Yeah.
That button maker
Yeah.
was intense. Like the first day, me, Alyssa, and Evie and Betsy had like a system, and I was the pusher of the buttons, and my like triceps, whatever's on the bottom of your arms, hurt so bad, like for 2 days, just from constantly. It was crazy, but I'm glad it worked out for more than just what we needed it for.
It was a whole machine too. Like there was a whole step process. It was like put in like the piece of paper, like putting the metal on a piece of paper and light up the holes so it goes through, or so it doesn't go through, and then put in the plastic, and so many steps. And yeah, my arm did hurt by the end of it.
We had such trouble with it because we didn't realize that you had to like spin the one part of it to like put the pins through the hole. And then we saw it in the directions, and we kept saying this to each other. It was like pins do through the hole, and then pins do not through the hole. And that's how we kept saying that to like get the system down. So.
Yeah, Alyssa gave me the rundown, and she did include pins do through the hole and pins do not through the hole during the explanation. So yeah, I'm glad that carried over.
I have like zero context because I never used the button machine. So next marathon, I will have to experiment and experience the button maker.
I'm gonna buy my own for my house.
Just put pins around everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, it's obvious that it became used for incentives, but we definitely weren't thinking it would.
Yeah, I think that was the only one that I can think of that it got used for. And I'm definitely excited to think, what else can we put on a pin and appends to people?
Okay, moving on to our next question. Was there anything you regret not doing during the marathon, and why? Gonna throw that to Phil.
For me, it was more, I felt like towards the end of the marathon that I could have been volunteering more. Like originally I intended to leave by the weekend on Saturday, and I saw a couple of other people having to duck out, and I realized I drove. So the only thing waiting for me back home is cutting the grass. So I decided to stick around for a few extra days and just kind of fill in where there was spots available. But yeah, next time definitely intend to throw in for more things, volunteer for games, stuff. It's fun, and
let's go, Phil.
There's a lot more people to support a stream at Zeldathon than I'm used to, so it's not as stressful.
Yeah. I remember when I was like, Phil, when are you leaving? You're like, when do you want me to leave? And I was like, what? What kind of answer is that?
What a guy.
No.
Never.
Absolute friend.
I was like, you have a choice? So MC, what about you? Was there anything you regret not doing?
My laundry. So
no.
I told I told Arctic, my husband, that I was like, I don't know, I had clothes for the entire marathon, but I was like, not all my favorite clothes were going to be washed, like my favorite undershirts and stuff, and my favorite shorts, whatever. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go do a load of laundry at my house on Saturday, something like that, Friday, whatever. So I got all my, small bundle, about this much, like you could hold it in two hands like this very easily. My favorite pieces that I wanted to get washed real quick. I was like, this will be a quick load. I could put it on the quick setting. I could just whoosh whoosh get back to the hotel, no problem. And I put it in the second drawer at the hotel. Like the first drawer had my clean clothes. Second drawer, whoosh, I put those dirty clothes. I was like, so I can just grab them quick, get out of there, go back to the marathon afterwards. I ended up not having time, so I was like, dang it. Turns out when I packed up for the marathon, I forgot about it. I forgot about second drawer. And so when I got home, I was like, oh, let me call the hotel. And they were like, no problem, dude. Housekeeping will go check right now. It'll be no problem. I was like, thanks, man. And so I called back and I was like, hey, what's the deal? And they're like, yeah, housekeeping should have them come on in. And I was like, all right, sweet, let's go. So I went into the hotel again after the marathon. They're like, actually, turns out someone's already in that room, and there's nothing housekeeping has in the lost and found section. So the person leaves tomorrow. So come back out tomorrow. And I was like, no problem. But I decided I'm going to call. And so I called 2 days ago or something. And I was like, hey, where's got my stuff before I drive over to the hotel? And they were like, nope, we don't know where it is. And so that's how I lost my favorite clothes. So I have to buy new clothes soon.
Aw.
So I regret not going to do my laundry, because then I would have not lost my clothes. There, I hope you enjoyed. I had to find a way to tell this story, and I couldn't figure out which question to file it under until I saw that one.
I think that worked.
Yeah.
Next question. Coolest personal addition you added to the marathon? Gonna throw that one to Maeve.
Yeah, so I think this was during like start of the or no, it was like right at the beginning of the marathon, I think, when things were still early, and Jiggy was on the couch and he had started up the rats meme, wanting every file name to be rat, which did not come to fruition. But for a while, rat was a very big meme at the beginning of the marathon. And Jiggy said something along the lines of like, I want to say the word rat and someone to remix it and that be a secret sound. And I said, hey, wait a minute, I have that skill set. And I always love making secret sounds, because like I just like going on Twitch and grabbing stuff and doing that. And I was like, well, I've been doing more like music production in the last year, so why not? And so I took Jiggy saying rat, and he was very nice to give us some very good isolated rat clips, one with a really enunciated T that made a very good hi-hat sound. And so I made it into a secret sound, and then and one that was just a really fun contribution to make, and I very much enjoyed doing.
I didn't know you
sounds
made
like
that.
Yeah, I made it in like 20 minutes in
made that.
showroom. I did. I made this. and then I was later informed that by complete accident I had made it into the rhythm of Bad Apple. And so later in the marathon, a lot of people were just singing along to Bad Apple, but saying rat every time the sound came. It was like rat, 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 rat. So that was just very fun. I had a good time contributing that.
And
it turned into something I didn't expect.
And it's a good sound.
Rat Apple.
Rapple? Anyway. Kath, what about you?
Okay, so my coolest personal addition, probably not shocking given my role of social media manager, is I made so many TikToks this marathon. This was our first Zeldathon since having a TikTok, so we have so many more stupid ones in our drafts that I can't wait to just like trickle out randomly. Plus Broken made a ton of stream clips that we're going to be posting. Lana, no, we don't. So Latex Shrek is, I made
Terrible.
a poll. No, it's not. I made a poll. Well, first I made 2 videos, one of the Horus filter and one of Latex Shrek, like dancing to, or they were either on set or dancing to musicians or something. And then I made a Twitter poll and the people voted for Latex Shrek. So that's the one that got posted. So don't blame me. Blame the audience.
The video with Starmie dancing with Horus was very good, to be fair.
They're very good. And if you don't know, you can please follow us on TikTok at Zeldathon, and you can see them all for yourself.
I didn't know we had more like in the queue in the drafts ready to be released. That's exciting for me to hear.
We have so many cursed ones. Like I walked around like with the filters on. There's 15 in the drafts.
Oh my God.
I walked around with like the filter on, just like pointing it at people, being like, here, like you're gonna be in a TikTok someday. When? Nobody knows, but you will be.
You'll just get a ping randomly from Zeldathon and be like, why am I getting added? Oh God, that.
Follow us and find out when.
And follow our other social medias.
Yeah, that at Zeldathon, all of them.
They're down
No
there.
S.
They're down there.
Are
If you
they?
keep
There?
looking.
Are they?
They are. I see it. It says TikTok Zeldathon right down
There
there.
it is. There it is.
Yeah, look at that.
Shout out to Dark for making a new updated branding for today.
Yes,
pretty
Mags.
cool.
We did have blessed ones. They're mostly cursed, but we did some blessed ones. I did one of Mags at the security desk to the Reba sound, and it was great.
Keyword Zeldathon.
Very fun.
So next question, what was your favorite prop of the event? And who had that one? MC.
The creeper, which was also at Target. We saw it by the arts and crafts section, and me and Brooks saw it in unison, and I pointed at it, and he was like, "Yeah," and like there was no discussion about it. We didn't really know. We then found a broom so we could take off the broom part and just use it as a handle to whack the creeper, and we're like $10 a swing, easy money. Let's go charity. And then by the time we got back, the idea had evolved to whatever. Donate and tell us what to hit the creeper with, and then the creeper also became part of the 3 in the morning cinematic universe as the main murder weapon. So the creeper pinata that was randomly at Target absolutely gets my vote for best prop of the event, because I saw it, I pointed at it, I walked around with it because we didn't have a cart, so I just walked around with it through the entire Target, and everybody was looking at me, and brought it back to the hotel, and we made some money for charity using it, and eventually it was completely destroyed and morphed into Gaff Thulu and became the most terrifying thing in the world. It's wonderful.
Speaking of Gaff, what did you say? Gaff Thulu.
Cthulhu.
Speaking of Gaff Thulu, what was the most destructive segment of the marathon, Maeve? That was a bad segue. I'm sorry.
Maeve is muted.
Oh, Maeve is muted.
How could this happen?
Sorry, I did that to myself because I had to cough and I forgot to unmute. Big sad. So mine doesn't involve Gaff, but the one that I had in mind was the second half of the Wind Waker, which was the VTuber segment, the debut VTuber segment of Zeldathon, and it was destructive in terms of the marathon space and also psychologically in a few parts of it. But we hadn't really planned a lot of incentives for it, and we eventually came up with this lore that we had opened up a portal to the virtual world underneath us, and it was like transforming everybody on Bat Couch into various objects. So we started just grabbing like all sorts of props and just like laying behind the couch and pretending to be the props. And like by the end of it, we had like so many things just like scattered about behind the couch, like Minecraft swords and a broom and like a box fan.
Was the creeper involved?
I think the creeper might have come up at some point. I don't have a distinct memory of the creeper, but he might have been there. I don't know. And then also psychologically destructive when we got to the when Basoonify went up to the talkback mic and asked us, is Garfield a furry? And that started a whole very long tangent of things that ended in somebody asking if the King of Red Lions is a furry and Lim just yelling, he's a boat, which was very good. So it was destructive in multiple senses of the word. We had to do a lot of cleanup after, which is why it was good to have remote segments after. So
What about you, Kath?
What about me? I think the most destructive segment, the most emotionally destructive segment was during A Link to the Past, the very first game. We were all trauma dumping on the couch and like talking about like the words that we missed in spelling bees, and I was crying from laughing so hard because Jackson kept roasting me, and it was hilarious. When Jackson and Dan showed up, it was over. Like, and then Shadow told his trauma dumping. Well, basically, we all told like a traumatic story from our childhood for no real reason, but it was really funny.
Well, that's the
I'd-
reason then. It was fun.
I'd like to add real quick that because I was thinking about most destructive segment, I didn't have an answer for it until I just remembered when it first became winter during Oracle of Seasons, and Lucata. I watched it back finally, but Lucata was supposed to throw the snow and scatter it and make a beautiful snow thing. It was more like just like dumping a bunch of glitter on my head, just me, just and there was glitter in the hotel bathroom. There was glitter in my hotel room in the bathtub. I found some glitter here at my house. I've been trying to get rid of this, it's always just like a one. It's like one little glitter of snow, and I'm like, it's the winter is still here.
I think I'd woken up for ages and Avra was just coming to bed, and Avra said, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna get glitter all over you if you sit on couch. Just a fair warning." I was like, "Well, I'm about to play the game, so I kind of have no choice." So I got a warning of the glitter.
We have an excellent question from chat from Hal. Can I interrupt the flow to answer it?
Please do. I can see it.
Okay.
And please do.
Hal asks, MC, did you ever find out what made your arm hurt that day, that one time that nobody made a clip of? Yeah, so I sat down on back couch at one point and I was like, ow, my shoulder, what the heck? Somebody make a clip of that. Nobody made a clip of it. But the next day I found Phil and I was like, Phil, I know you got experience with this. What's going on here? And Phil went, oh yeah. And then popped my shoulder back in. It felt better. It was still sore, but did the same thing the next day, like 24 hours later. And I feel good now. It feels good now. I'm all on the mend, but I don't know what happened. All I know is Phil fixed me. So thank you.
It was great. It was incredible to witness. I wish I had made a video, but I was like, this seems personal. I won't.
It wouldn't have showed
It
up
was
on
great.
camera. It emanates light.
It was just funny because as soon as Phil like did whatever, MC was just like, oh my god, like it was just great.
Well, I was just amazed because of how fast it was. It was like, Phil, my shoulder's feeling kind of bad.
Sure.
Oh
is.
yeah. And you knew exactly what to do, and it was amazing.
Well, I mean, maybe that. Whoops! I got to make this smaller. There we go. I was like, maybe this is actually the answer for the next question. But what is the craziest idea you've had for a skit or segment that you wish you could do, but obviously can't? Go ahead, Phil.
Mine would be Chopped.
Ooh.
Like I was so excited when y'all did when y'all made Jackson make crepes live on stage. That was so fun to watch, and I made so many channel points betting on him. But yeah, I know how difficult it would be logistically to set something like that up unless it was done in a secondary location or it was entirely pre-recorded. But I would be 1,000% down for something like that.
Pre-recorded might be an idea.
Yeah, I've had some thoughts.
I know it's not quite the same thing, but since we are allowed to eat hotel provided food, I think one of the other favorite bits of mine in those types of shows is when like Gordon Ramsay will blindfold everybody and make them taste things and identify them. We could get like a snack pack from
Oh, that's true.
from them to do that.
And they had microwavable things too.
Mm-hmm.
They had many treasures.
Man, what if we did a cooking segment that only involved things that you can get in the hotel?
Vending
could.
machine cooking.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll put it in the
And now I'm
notebook.
thinking of how to do pre-recorded segments, and now I'm envisioning a choose your own adventure Zeldathon bit where we have like several pre-recorded videos.
Oh,
That sounds like a lot.
Like Black Mirror.
does sound complicated.
Like the Black Mirror
Write it down.
episode.
Write it
Yeah.
down.
Quick.
All right, MC, what about you?
Man, so let's put it this way. The Dan and MC talk show is very unfairly regarded as a very dangerous Zeldathon segment.
It was.
Yes, we may have thrown around glass. Yes, we may have smashed things with hammers. Yes, it may have gone farther than we intended. However, I think that the skit idea has feet, it has legs. It doesn't have feet, it's legs. There's a future for it, and we could solve it with like things like barriers or pre-recorded, because that was like sorry, I read Phil's comment in chat. This was like phase one. This was beta. This was the alpha version of the show, but we got canceled before we could ever continue on to our future iterations. I swear that we could find something, and
Canceled
it'll
after
be
the
back.
pilot.
Yeah,
hate to
we'll
see
get
it.
there. We'll get there.
So speaking of like some of these segments where, they're messy or destructive or whatever, we definitely found that having remote segments before or after was very advantageous when it came to cleaning up and getting set up again with our normal couch setup. For MC, the question is, the hybrid in-person event with the remote team members playing various games seemed to work really well during this event. Will this be a new norm going forward?
Maybe. We definitely enjoyed it. We liked exactly what you said, where like before Jig Academy, Jiggy could just panic everywhere at full volume rather than in one small area at medium volume. And the jam train could be properly set up. Everybody had a chance to, go and take a break and get food and stuff, whatever, beforehand. I like that part of it for the in-person portion, but I also like the very important part of why we had the remote segments to begin with, which was there's a lot of team members who couldn't or didn't want to come out for this event in person, and so we wanted to make sure they could still have a way to get involved. And I think that it still might be useful even as COVID changes or becomes, less of a focus or a reason that people might not come to the event. I still think there's going to be reasons why people can't come to the event that isn't COVID, whether it's, prices or, there may be a newer team member who isn't quite in the vibe yet of what Zeldathon is, that could just do an event remotely. And I think that it's something to keep in mind, something to experiment with. I would say basically it's not off the table. I feel like it's another tool in our arsenal at this point.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of, remote segments, which kind of came to be a thing for us due to COVID and our response to COVID, how was getting to see everyone in person again since COVID struck? Phil?
For me, it was great because I haven't actually been to a Zeldathon in like 4-ish years. I think it was a winter one on Mars a while ago, but it wasn't the most recent one, so
Wait,
it was great.
Was it
Response?
I don't know the names of these. I've been to so
That was
many.
winter 2018.
That's not going to work.
Winter 2018.
Yes, I think that sounds right.
Wow, I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah, well, I've been remote for a few of them, but seeing everyone again was great. I will say that it's a strange feeling to me when the marathon is over and everyone is very sad, because I'm used to seeing my friends for like a week and then going 4 months without them, and then a week, and then the same thing over and over. Like that's been my life for over a decade. So this is just totally normal. Great to see everybody. See you next summer or winter or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you there, Phil. Like, I think my post-marathon sadness has become less of a thing over time as more and more of these Zeldathons and just the marathon age where it's like, all right, good show, guys. See you soon. Bye. And then walk away. And some people are like, I'm like, come on, we'll be back. We're not going to stop doing these, just wait a little bit. Obviously I miss everybody, but I feel very optimistic about the next one.
You rock. Don't ever change. Have a great summer.
Zeldathon's like summer camp.
Right. Yeah. I guess I didn't think about that, why I don't experience like the same, like, sad post-thon. I mean, I get a little bit of post-thon blues just from not being busy and being bored. But for the not seeing people, like from the time I was in high school, I used to do like traveling summer drum and bugle corps, and I would only see people during the summer, and then I would go the rest of the year without seeing them. And so I guess it's kind of similar feels, where it's just something I've become used to over the last 15 years or so.
Like the expectation is there to do this again. So it's like, now I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. Kath, what about you? How is it getting to see everyone in person again?
So my situation is a little bit different because a few team members live near me. And then I also got to reunite with people at MomoCon. So I feel like I got all my feels out then, like seeing people like Jamie and stuff. But I will say that I think the best way to think about it is it was just like a little family reunion, and everyone just kind of picked up right where we left off. It was like, we hadn't not seen each other for 2 years or whatever. And some people had longer hair and beards.
A lot of people
had longer hair.
Not anymore. They don't.
They kept coming in on setup day. They kept coming in on setup day, Catherine. I was like, whoa, longer hair. And then 5 minutes later, hey, and then it just kept going and going and going. I was like, what the heck? I missed the trend.
But yeah, I feel like, it didn't feel weird to be away that long and then like reunite. Like it just felt normal, I guess.
All right, Maeve. Favorite off-camera moment?
Okay, so this was while we were setting up for Jam Train, was this moment. I have it like perfectly in my head, and I'm pretty sure I recorded a clip of it that might end up on highlights if I can figure out where to upload that to. So we came up with a system for Jam Train where Jackson has so much sheet music. He has infinite sheet music. And so we figured he would go on a Discord call and he could share his screen so we could all see what sheet music he's looking at. This was a very useful system. Once we were setting up for Jam Train, it was pretty much just audio people getting everything settled. And also us as musicians were just kind of hanging out for a little bit. Jackson started going on a internet adventure, is the best way I could describe it, and just Googling things. Obviously trying to be funny to us, but it was like, stuff like cool like shirts for cool Pisces dads, or like that was like the most specific example I could think of because it was very
probably
memorable.
The most appropriate one that you could say.
Oh yeah, no, it only got bad towards the end. Like you'd go on WikiHow and look up how to ask out a girl for teens or whatever on WikiHow, and just scroll through that. And then it did start to go into Jackson territory towards the end, right before we got told that we were about to go live. And he quickly closed WikiHow and went back to sheet music, and then we were live like a minute later. So that it was just a very memorable moment of Jackson messing around not for the camera, just as like friends and just vibing and doing what he does. I do have a highlight clip of it that I recorded on my phone that hopefully we can salvage some of and get into B-roll.
Going off of what Skippy's saying in the chat about creating the minion rats, one of my favorite things is that the desktop background to the social media computer is now like something that Mars made. It's like the Weezer Blue album, but everybody is Gary the Snail. And I just left it. I was like, this will be fun for the future to open up and
yeah, just turn on the social media computer next time and be like, what?
I sure walked by the social media station while that was being created, and it was just it was Mars and Campy just like they're laughing to themselves, and I walked by and they went and they pointed at the monitor while looking at me, and I'm like, All right. You guys have fun. I'm glad you're enjoying your time here at Zeldathon Daybreak.
Speaking of like found treasures at a future marathon, during Teardown Day, when I took the cover off the social media phone to get like, I don't know, a serial number or something for our inventory, and one of the "you've been DeVito'd" pieces of paper was
One of the
inside.
old ones.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
One of,
I have it and I don't see
yeah, it was like someone had probably left it in there after forces, and it hadn't been seen since. And I oh man, I got very DeVito'd.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff like that because I remember when we were setting up the set itself and we were trying to figure out how to put the set together, and we had written like some combination of letters and numbers on the back of all the boards. Like it was like A1 through A4 and B1 through B4. And as far as we could figure out, those numbers and letters did not correlate at all to how they were supposed to go together, according to like the pictures we looked at from the previous marathons in order to figure out where it went. There's just so many surprises of opening up the storage unit that the next marathon and being like, all right, what's in here?
Shout out to my Twitter cover photo, which had the blueprint of which where the panels went for the set.
We were like, all right, so this
Very
one has
useful.
the Triforce, and so the Triforce one goes in the corner. And then
Wait,
the
you
one
made
with
it your
this-
Twitter banner?
It was already my Twitter banner, and I was like, how can we figure out which panel goes where? And I was like, my Twitter banner, of course.
Not the VODs or anything, your Twitter. Yeah.
It was the fastest solution.
True.
Doug
will
says,
add-
Kath, I think there's a DeVito in the drawer in front of
I
you.
don't see one. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but
Classic
I don't see
Doug.
that. I was gonna add that like surprises in the ballroom. Wasn't there like, didn't something get left behind in the Mars Hotel, like in the chandelier? Something got stuck
Kool-Aid.
somewhere.
There's Kool-Aid
Huh?
on the ceiling.
Okay, so when we were doing Teardown, I was tasked with helping go through props, and I was like sorting through the Nerf guns, and I accidentally shot one up into the ceiling. So there's a random Nerf dart like up in the ceiling somewhere.
Wait, is it a
My
normal
bad.
Nerf dart or is it one of the silver bullets?
I think it's just a normal one,
Okay.
like a blue foam
Not
one.
one of the silver bullets from your Zelda run.
Yeah, from Zeldathon Ascent during my Zelda 1 run where I made every item. I had Night Sura spray paint some of the Nerf bullets silver to be the silver arrows.
And there was a Nerf gun in my sink for like 5 days.
And then they didn't fully dry, so they got like jammed in your.
Yeah, when I went to go do the bit, they were all stuck together.
Yeah, because you stored them in my sink. What did you expect?
Your sink to be cooler and not sticky.
Speaking of teardown and finding so we had a question: how are setup day and teardown day organized? An all hands on deck type of situation, or specific people responsible for specific tasks? You want to explain that, MC?
It's a little bit of both. There are definitely people who are assigned to specific tasks. We tried to be a little bit more organized this time around. It's still a work in progress to really refine our processes. But like, there's like Basunify, who were like, "You are audio, make audio." And you know, like there's like, and you know, usually I'm like on top of like, you know, hooking up the games, but sometimes your computer just doesn't detect capture cards, and so you have to spend half a setup day driving to Best Buy and stuff. But there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff to do, and so a lot of it's like, hey, you look bored, do you want to set up a TV stand? And Dynamation says, no, I do not, MC. And I say, can you? Sure, MC. And
You want to
know,
hunt for screws in boxes for like 6 hours?
Yeah, the screws for the TV stands are always a mess, and maybe one day we'll have a great system. But one thing that
banners this time.
Yeah, we figured out the banners. Teardown this time we took it a lot slower than we usually do, in that we wanted it to be very organized. So huge shout outs to our entire crew who did all the cable labeling, measuring, tagging, putting it in the system. We have an inventory system now thanks to Clinkit. It's all in there, and that all the chords are organized in the boxes that they need to be. And we did so much organization on the final day. I was really sick the final day, so I was trying to keep up the best I could. But I was so proud of everybody. Everybody was doing their absolute best. And I was really happy with how it went. Plinkett, do you have anything to add on to that? Because I know you worked on that a lot too.
Yeah, I guess for setup day, I think more than any other setup day, we were able to delegate tasks. Like Basunified was like, I need 3 people to help me with cables or whatever. We're like, here's your people. And then like we're like, Skippy, update the computers, which took like 12 hours. And then yeah, I was, I was like, Mel, Duck, you're with me. We're gonna make trees. And we made trees, that whole day. So I think more than we've been getting a lot better at finding jobs for people so that we can set up faster. I just need to stop making sets so that we can actually be done early. And then teardown was obviously pretty slow this time, but ideally that's the slowest it's ever going to be. And from this point forward, it's going to be smoother and faster. And setup day too, as a result of inventory. We know where everything is. All the cables are in the right box and labeled, so we won't waste time like looking for what we need.
And very important. This is a great thing I can bring up that people might not appreciate. During the marathon, like around day 2 or 3, I started just taking all of our cables that weren't actually in use at the moment and brought them all out into our hallway. And I just started, kind of sorting them. And any of them that were wrapped using gaff tape, which if it turns out, if you put that in a hot storage unit for multiple years, the adhesive begins to melt. And so we had a large pile of cords that became known as the gooey pile, because the cords were gooey and they suck. And to de-goo them requires a lot of work, which we had a crew de-goo some of the cables, but a lot of them, what we did? We took the gooey pile and we put it in the trash can. Like, yes, it's like, wow, that's some money that we lost there. But at the same time, one, none of those cables were in use during the marathon. Like, none of them were connected, so they weren't actively needed to make a marathon happen. 2, we can buy new ones. They're not that expensive. 3, we saved any of the most expensive ones that we really wanted and de-gooed them. So just knowing that when we go to Zeldathon 28, whenever that may be, that we will have boxes of wrapped, organized, non-gooey cables made me so happy.
I cannot stress enough how unpleasant to touch the gooey cables were.
They are awful to touch. The second you touch one, you just hate it.
I mean, you have to remember, gaff tape is like so strong, and so there's so much strong adhesive, and it gets on your hands, and it doesn't come off, and it's just there. It's awful. It's the opposite of gamer goo.
Yeah, it's awful. I'm so glad the gooey pile is dead. Dino hunted around in the gooey pile and took some cables home, and I was like, go for it, enjoy, and have because there were some nice cables in there. There was like a few 25-foot HDMIs. Those are nice.
Shout out to the gooey dazzle that I tried to throw out, to which everyone said, no, you can't throw out the dazzle, and then they de-gooed it. I didn't even know what a dazzle was.
You could have handed that to me if you really wanted rid of it. The dazzle was the capture card that ran the first marathon.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was. It was de-gooed, and it is in with everything else, MC. So your relic lives on.
And it's not just because I'm hoarding it. We could also use it for a bit where if we ever want to do like Zeldathon back in time, we could actually connect our games to the original capture card and get it presented in beautiful 480i.
That sounds like hoarding.
Then I'll take it.
It's hoarding, but for charity.
We did do a museum at Forces with like something from each. So
museum was very fun.
We could do it again. We could do another museum.
See it Zeldathon 50.
All right. So besides being on screen, what other marathon tasks did you love doing the most, Phil?
I really enjoyed, this is going to sound silly, but being at security desk was just very chill. And the wall of windows next to us kind of was like, it was hot outside, but it felt like a more natural space. Like I spent some time in chill room. We had some Mario Kart tournaments, and that was a lot of fun. but it felt very enclosed, and the security hallway next to the stream room felt much more open. So also was a great place to just chill and like browse the internet or read manga on my phone while nobody else was around, because at least at the beginning of the marathon, there wasn't too many people out there. So it was kind of relaxing and quiet.
Became a social spa later.
It did. And that was fun too.
Yeah, that was one thing we never saw coming, was the security desk becoming the point of socialization for the
party desk.
Right near the security desk was also like this outdoor courtyard area that was very nice to, like, you know, because we couldn't bring non-hotel food into the hotel, so we kind of ended up just eating out in this courtyard a lot. And then especially when it became like the like sunset hours and it kind of cooled down a little bit, it started to be just a really nice hangout spot. There, you know, people were getting their hair cut out there, like amidst people eating various fast foods. There were a lot of really good hangout moments in those areas.
Yeah, definitely. Who else? Oh, Maeve, what about you?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. The first thing is I like driving people places. I have a minivan, and it is very useful for when we need to drive many people places. So like, you know, if we all needed to go get food, or like, you know, want to just go take a break and go somewhere, just like, all right, everyone hop in the van and we'll drive somewhere, and I can take the kids to soccer practice or whatever in my mom van. And then the other thing is sort of doing a lot of filming stuff off camera. So way back in the day at Zeldathon Heels, we recorded a bunch of stingers that were like parodies of Disney Channel, or it's like, and you're watching Zeldathon, and then try to draw a Triforce, and it goes really badly. You do the first triangle, then you do the middle triangle, and then it's good. There was like a diagram and everything. And that was sort of like a proof of concept of like, okay, we can like record stuff and then use it for a future marathon. So this marathon, we really started trying to ramp that up, and we're recording a lot of stuff, kicking people out of chill room to do bits, and, you know, and hopefully, you know, we'll edit it all together and we'll have a really nice production for the next marathon. But just getting to film all that stuff was really nice as well.
I would like to apologize in advance for whoever's segment was being filmed in chill room when I burst through the doors and was like, "Where's the iPad?"
It's probably gonna be in like B-roll or something. It's very good.
We were freaking out because we were like, "Where's the iPad? Where did the iPad go?" And I was like, I like burst through the doors and where's the iPad? And they're just like off in the corner filming. And I was like, oh.
Well, for the first couple, for the MC's looking for it. For the first couple of times we were doing filming in chill room, we would have someone stationed outside to be like, no. But then turns out it was really hard to get enough people to film because a lot of people were doing their shifts and things like that. So we just kind of ended up having to just do it and hope for the best and hope people didn't run in yelling. Which I think only happened a couple times, so don't worry, you weren't alone.
It was a very serious moment. We needed the iPad.
I'm sure you needed the iPad. I'm sure that was way more important than whatever silly thing we were doing in children, whatever like potato carvings we were doing.
You know, stress of the moment, I guess.
Yeah, it happens.
So we're getting close to the end. One big difference between Jupiter and Mars was all of the new food options. Like, just we had way more options for food than we ever did at Mars. Thanks, Jupiter, probably because of all the moons. There's a lot of diversity with all the moons there. So what was your go-to food of the marathon, MC?
Thank you for asking me this question. I'm here to preach the good word of Potbelly sandwiches. A sandwich shop that I previously did not have high in my corporate sandwich ranking. However, I went there on a whim on day one of the marathon, not day zero, day one. And it was good. It was good, but it took me the rest of the marathon, because I went every day of the marathon except for one, to Potbelly, and further refined my order until I now have my perfect Potbelly order. And I'm very sad I missed the one day. It was a very busy day of the marathon. But I'm really sad that I missed that. If I go, actually, you know what? Can we go back to the regret question? Can I go back in time and make sure that I go to Potbelly on that day so I can have a perfect Potbelly streak? Now, you might be saying, MC, why would you have this food the entire marathon? It's very simple. Sandwiches cover so many food groups. You got bread, meat, vegetable, mayonnaise. You could put a pineapple on it. I don't care. You can at Potbelly. They don't have that, but it's this type of food you can put in your stomach, and it's not going to cause a ruckus. It's going to give you calories both in the moment and later. Sandwiches are great. I love sandwiches. Potbelly has risen in the corporate sandwich tier list thanks to Zeldathon Daybreak. Potbelly. Thank you for asking me this question. It was very important to me.
Very important. Phil, what about you? What was your go-to food?
It was clearly definitely boba.
That was my guess.
Yeah,
Everybody's been saying
It's an
boba.
easy
I
guess.
listened
didn't
yesterday.
try boba.
Very easy guess. There was boba all over the place.
Boba
At least-
everywhere.
Yeah. So got to try it from at least one from every place that sold it nearby within walking distance, and some without walking distance. And so that would be my choice. I will say, like, I was stoked to find out that there was so much international food so close by. Like my big fear in going was, and I'm not trying to call them out, but my roommates were very excited to see that there was a TGI Fridays close by, and I side-eyed them so hard when they said that. But then there was Indian food and Thai food and Arabic food, and I was in heaven.
Sometimes you just
so
need
much-
some TGI Fridays.
Sometimes you
I
got
disagree.
Fridays is
Sometimes
good.
it's
I
I
don't
just
disagree
is.
with that. Sometimes
Thank
you
God
need a
it's
microwave
Friday.
and you're done.
No, South
guess,
Asian
I
food
guess.
is one of my favorite types of food, and having so many South Asian places was so good. I went to all of them.
Yeah,
All of them?
pretty good.
I think
You know what,
maybe
Phil?
not all of them.
I
There was
missed
actually a
one
lot
them.
of them.
Yeah,
There were a
there
lot. I
lot.
went to at least 4. So
I kept going
I
back to the Thai
got-
place because they had the soup I love.
the Thai
I
place
got
was
rainbow
good.
cake at the TGI Fridays, and it was very good. So can't get that in a microwave.
I'm gonna tell a mini story. I'm sorry because this
No,
is
go for it.
this is the
No.
only time I'll be able to tell it and it'll be relevant. One time, me and Campy were coming back from a small drive, and we were heading towards the Potbelly because I wanted my daily sandwich. And we came up to the street crossing where, like, by the hotel. When who do we see but one Drum Ultima walking across the street, going towards the food direction, and so we out there, they're like, "Hey, Drum Ultima!" and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, I want some Panera. I'm gonna go get a sandwich." We're like, "Do you want a sandwich from Potbelly?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, gets in our car.
Get in, nerd. We're going to Potbelly.
Yeah, like at the intersection at the red light, like he hops in our car and comes with us. That was a top 10 like Zeldathon moment for me, just because I don't know, that's the family right there that it made me feel.
That
I want to
crosswalk.
say most of the times I drove past that intersection, there was someone from Zeldathon crossing it to go get food.
Yeah.
It was a very common
Yeah.
occurrence.
I was gonna
Also,
say-
that red light took forever to turn. Very side tangent. That red light lasted forever, so there was a lot of time to get in the car.
Yeah, the crosswalk lasted so long. At one point, there were like 6 of us on one side and 10 of us on the other. And as we crossed, we were like, we have like 40 seconds left. We can just sit here in the intersection and chat.
Just stand in the middle of the road.
How you
Sounds
doing?
good.
What's going on? What'd you get?
You can make that a remote segment, like crosswalk
Oh,
conversations.
Crosswalk combos.
Catherine, you might remember at the Moon Hotel, that crosswalk to get to the sheets. That was a fast crosswalk.
Mhm.
Like when it turned, people had to dash across so they didn't get hit by cars. I'm so glad we have a place where the red light stays on
With a real crosswalk.
with a real crosswalk too. Yeah.
IRL stream on the crosswalk.
TikTok live on the crosswalk.
Just point the camera at the street so you don't point at any street signs.
Yeah.
Just always pointed at the pavement.
So, bringing this wonderful Q&A session to a conclusion, I know out of, there was an IHOP in the vicinity, and some of the team members went to IHOP, the International House of Pancakes. So speaking of pancakes, as our final question, what, and this is an actual community question. All of these are actually, I didn't make up any of them. What pancake topping best summarizes this marathon for you? I'm gonna start with you, MC.
Man, this marathon, it kind of feels like a what is it, like the strawberry syrup, that we had it's so rich, it's so flavorful. You got to be kind of careful with it as you put it on, because this marathon was so exciting, had like so much to it. You had to be very careful with it. So you try to put a little bit on, but and then it goes everywhere, and it looks like a bloody mess on your pancakes. But it's still super sweet. It's still super wonderful. And you're like, man, I kind of missed pancakes a little bit. So this is pretty good. But then you're like, maybe next time we'll be a little bit more careful with our toppings. This time I kind of went a little overboard, but that's okay, because there's always going to be more pancakes in the future. And at the end of the day, it was still delicious having these pancakes. But definitely next time I'll be a little bit more careful about how much strawberry syrup I put on, because it was so sweet. It was a little overwhelming. That's how I describe this marathon for me.
So mine's kind of similar. Mine is going to be like fruit topping, but it's like frozen fruit that you like tried to defrost, and the ones on like the outside of the blob you stuck in the microwave to defrost are like nice and warm and like defrosted, but then there's some frozen ones that didn't quite get defrosted all the way. So like the nice ones are the first and second tree, but then third tree is still the frozen clump of fruit that has
all
not
about
been
the trees.
third tree, it's still defrosting, and hopefully next marathon it'll finish unfreezing all the way.
Pop it back in the microwave.
And then originally Zach Teep was going to be here today, and he wasn't able to, but he did give me one answer to a question, and this was the only question he answered that he wanted.
Of course it is.
He wanted to make sure that everyone heard, and so he said his answer is bacon. This marathon was crunchy but full of flavor, and it was good to be back, just like it's good to bite into a slice of bacon on a warm fluffy pancake.
God, I'm hungry.
Same. All right, Maeve, what about you?
This question is hard. I'm not creative enough for questions like this. It's too abstract. But I guess I think I was just going to go with plain old maple syrup, because I think this was classic. Return to form of Zeldathon. We've been gone for a couple of years, going back to basics, going back to Zelda. It's nice and sweet. Good to see all our friends again. Our old friend Syrup back on the pancake.
Old friend Syrup.
I became a southern
maple
farmer.
syrup again.
Maple syrup again. Let's go. I mean, it was classic. It was good to be back doing Zelda, not in my house, not in a convention center, back at a hotel.
Oh yeah, you really were there for like the Zeldathon returns, but not quite in a hotel yet, and they were both very personal to you.
Yeah, it was in my house, and then there was a blizzard, and everyone had to evacuate really quickly. It was a whole experience.
Now that's how fast teardown should always be, honestly.
Yeah, that took like 3 hours.
Snowstorm. Bye, mate. Whoosh.
Syrup. Final answer.
Good answer. All right, Catherine, what about for you?
My topping, I picked chocolate chips because it was so sweet to be with everyone again.
Oh,
Everybody is an individual chocolate chip.
but then as
Everyone gets a chomp.
Everyone gets a chomp, and then the pancakes worms, they start to like mix together into one.
Okay, so I read the question wrong, and I thought it was like, what kind of pancake? And I was thinking like chocolate chip pancakes, because those are my fave.
I mean, I think it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, Maeve, I can't do these questions that are like
yeah, it's too abstract.
people ask me like in like work icebreakers, like what superpower would you have? And I immediately like brain shut off, like can't.
Fly.
Go ahead, Phil, I'm sorry.
Fly.
We only do one question per Q&A like this. I don't have one for tomorrow yet, chat. So get those submitted. I need a good one. All right. And finally, Phil, to take us through the last answer.
My pancake topping for this marathon would be speculoos, which is a cookie butter that comes from Belgium.
Oh, I thought you
Just
said
like our
sparkle.
sponsor, TriFox.
Legend.
Oh,
Excellent.
fantastic.
Wait, what is that topping?
Cookie butter. It's like a spiced almost gingerbread cookie, and then you like pulverize them
cookie
into
butter.
a powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
And mix it with
Speculoos.
something that makes it spreadable. It's really, really good on pancakes and Belgian waffles.
Cookie turned back into dough form.
Exactly.
True.
A deliciously unusual spread, reminiscent of gingerbread and made with crushed biscuits.
You can find it at Aldi's. It's not that unusual.
Yeah. See,
Or Trader Joe's.
I thought you said sparklers at first.
That's
and
what
was
I heard
Ooh, we're
something
gonna
I
like
thought.
light them. It's gonna be like whoosh.
I too eat sparklers and fireworks on my
Uh-oh.
pancakes.
It's your birthday.
Oh, so something in my background started playing music, and I thought Luke was doing like this professional, like slowly faded music to take us out. And I was about to
No.
compliment on him, but then I realized it was a different tab. Anyway,
How many tabs you got open? Click it.
just 4.
Oh, just 4. Okay, cool.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out tonight and answering questions. Chat, thanks for being here and hanging out with us, you know, making us feel less lonely, I guess, in the off season, less bored. We love seeing you guys here. If you are interested in hanging out with us more, you can join our Discord, which I guess the bot's broken, but I'm sure a mod can post the link there in chat for us.
Discord.gg/Zeldathon.
Whoa,
There
our
we
bot
go.
can talk.
And yeah, we would love to have you join us. We're starting to like ramp up our community nights with like games on the Discord, other, you know, watch parties, stuff like that. So if you're interested, please head on over and join us. And tomorrow we have a great cast. I believe the current, provided everyone shows up tomorrow, and we should have Gannon 11, OMG It's Monica, Danny Music, Betsy 7 Cat, and Broken here to answer your questions.
Squad.
Yes, very solid squad. So hope same time tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then. And thanks again for joining. That's all I got.
Bye.
That's all, folks.
Bye. Take us out, Luke.